Hello, hello, hello. Hi, and welcome to the Rumble and Roar podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm your host, Lenoria, and this is my co-host.
Y'all know me, I'm Shayna.
Shayna, and we have a special guest, Hassan Green.
What's going on, everybody?
I'm so excited, guys. And when I tell you, I gotta say it like the old people. I can't say he can sing. No, we got to say he can sing.
Oh, man.
He's a wonderful singer. And what we're going to do is talk about the life of a professional singer today. But before we start talking, I have to tell you guys how I met Hassan. Oh my gosh. I was at church and we had this banquet. And they had a couple of people there. And singers and different people. When he got up, at the end of the day, I'm sitting there and I'm all relaxed and I'm just looking and I'm like, okay, everybody's talking and you know how you're like, okay, another speech, another person. But when he got up there and sung this song by Major, I was like, I woke up and I looked. And I had to keep looking to see if it wasn't the real person, because when I tell you, oh, that song is so amazing. And he sung it so perfect. So when he did sing it, I was like, I have to get in touch with this guy. I gotta get him for my wedding anniversary. I love that song and it's just perfect. Long of the short, I did get him and he came to, and he performed at my 26th wedding anniversary. Oh my gosh, and he sung that song again and everybody in the house was standing up, taking pictures, clapping, applauding. I was like, wait a minute, is it for me or is it for everybody else? But nevertheless, oh my gosh, I don't want to keep going on and on and on. I can't help it. But and another thing, guys, I looked on Shayna, I looked on, I think it was YouTube or I can't remember where, but I saw you on Apollo as a child.
Yeah.
Oh, Shayna, you have to look it up.
How old were you when you did Apollo?
11.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Shayna, if you guys, please look it up. He was so confident. He sung so well. Was it Steve Harvey? Who was it?
It was actually Rudy Rush. They had just transitioned Steve Harvey, but Rudy Rush was new on there.
But I remember him saying something like, ooh, you were confident. You tore that up and you were talking like, I got this. I said, oh my God.
Take me back. I want to do it again.
Yes, you need to go back. You would win. You would win. I mean, with the grown-ups.
They actually are doing auditions now. So I submitted an online audition because I couldn't make the in-person audition because I was booked to do another event.
Oh man.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, but you were so busy. You were
Yeah.
so busy. I tell you, when I look on Facebook, Shayna, every time I look on there, it's like he's here, he's there, he's always completely booked all the time. And that's a blessing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I tell you, and then even with this podcast today, and I'm so excited that he's here, and I'm so glad that he had the time to come because I did not think you were going to be able to have any availability.
Yeah.
So
I'm here.
Yes, you are. I'm going to ask some questions, and it's just about a professional singer. You are a star to me.
Yeah.
You are a star to me. And if anybody ever heard you sing, I'm sure that the ones that have heard you sing will feel the same way as I do. Mm-hmm. But if they haven't, they need to, because yes. So let me see. My first question is, how hard is it to balance your life, your career, and everything else with singing? With all the bookings that you have and everything that you have going on?
Well, for me, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. Like, people will often ask if I have a manager, if I'm signed to a label.
And you're not?
I'm not. I'm not signed to a label. I'm an independent artist. Okay. I am my own booking manager. So it hasn't gotten to the place where it's extensive or overbearing yet. So I'm good with balancing. So I did take a while. I was signed to a label. Let me back up.
I can't believe you
Yeah.
are now with everything that. When I tell you,
No.
Shayna, you gotta look it up. I can't believe. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It all started with posting videos on YouTube. This
Mm-hmm.
was like my senior year of high school, 2007. YouTube just came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like the next big thing.
Oh,
So
you've been on it a long time.
Yeah, so I posted a video and it like the views just grew. It just skyrocketed. And so from there, I started traveling because people were writing like, hey, can you come here? Hey, can you come there? So it was like, hey, I remember when you was on the Apollo.
Yes.
So because I posted the Apollo video and everybody was like, oh, I remember this. And back then we didn't have DVR on demand. You know, if you didn't catch it then, you had to wait till it came back on TV
Right.
again. So, you know, it
Yes.
was just really exciting to see that people really remembered my episode out of, you know, all the episodes that come on. So I was signed to a label in South Africa back in 2012. So that lasted for like a year or two, maybe 2 years.
You were over there?
Back and forth. So like I went
Oh
there
my
and toured.
gosh.
I did my first international single and music video there with the Soweto Gospel Choir. So this was like one of the major highlights of my music career, to be able to do that overseas, you know, not even here in the States. So I did do that, and after that, I kind of went through a little season of not wanting to be a part of the music industry for so many different reasons. So I kind of scaled back. I didn't go as much. So the posts and stuff that you're seeing.
So did something happen to where you felt like you just didn't want to do that anymore, or what made you just needed a break, or?
It kind of, the industry can, the logistics of everything can kind of rob you of the joy of music, the joy of doing it, you know. So, and I've always loved music. I've always loved to sing. It was never about,
It shows.
yeah, it was never
It
about the
shows.
money. It was never about being famous for me. None of that
And
was.
that's why you are where you are now.
Yeah.
Because of that. And it shows.
Yeah.
You love what you do.
And that's all I ever wanted. I just wanted to sing. Like, it didn't matter how many people were in the crowd. And none of that still matters. It matters now. But like, that wasn't my focus. Like, to be, oh, I'm doing this because I want to be famous. That wasn't it. It was because I simply loved singing. I loved music. So with that, the going and going and going, radio interview here, radio interview there, then it was a lot of other logistic things that kind of like I said, robbed me of that. And it just felt like I was just going through the motion more so than doing it because I loved it. And so that kind of made me step away from it for a little. I still sang, I still went, but I wasn't going extensively like I am.
And
like
it
I
wasn't
see
that
now.
good feeling inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just felt like you on stage and the people are getting something from what you're giving, but you're not getting anything from it. So from that point, it just felt empty.
And you know what? Only a singer, only somebody like yourself and Beyonce, them, the people that perform could only tell us something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Goodness.
And I didn't want that emptiness. So,
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I would not either.
so I scaled back, but now I'm back out there. I'm back in the game, coach.
So
Yes.
is singing your sole career, or is it something that you kind of do?
It's not soul, it was.
Okay.
So just a little background. I grew up singing in church. I grew up playing the piano. So that's all I did was play the piano. Went to school for a little while. So outside of playing at
Oh,
church,
so he does play an
just
instrument.
a little bit.
That was
now.
one of my questions. Go ahead.
Just a little bit. So I did play at church every Sunday and sang at weddings, funerals, concerts, stuff like that. That was my sole income, just church. But then it got to a place to where I was waiting on bookings, money not flowing like it should. So that's when I broke into corporate America. And
I
that was
cannot-
just in 2016.
I cannot believe that you had an idle time ever.
Yeah.
with your voice, honestly, and I'm not saying this to boost you, I'm saying this because the singing, the way you sound, I can't believe that you had an idle time ever.
And that's probably partly my fault because I've never in my whole entire career really just pushed myself like I should or maybe could. It always just came to me. Like I've never had to really market or really just go out and say, hey, I'm a singer, hey, book me for this. It always just, the doors was just open, you know? And so if I had maybe grinded a little bit harder, I may, could have skipped going into corporate America. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing both. If you can do corporate America, have a career, and do what you love, and they collide, and it makes sense, then go for it.
And you feel good about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's all about your assignment and what you're led to do. And that's why I don't think it's a blueprint laid out to just for everybody to follow. Because everybody has a different path.
That's right.
So if entrepreneurship is solely what you want to do, that may not work for everybody. Because everybody don't have the skill, they don't have the character, they don't have the drive to just do their passion.
You better say it again.
Yeah.
Because I was just telling her on one podcast, you know how some people say, I want to be a daycare provider. I was like, it takes a special person.
Yes,
you can't just say, I want to do it. And yeah, I guess you could say it, but it's got to be in you,
And the
you know?
execution.
Yes.
You can plan something in your head, but the actual plan and executing it is a totally
The
different
whole,
ballgame.
2 different ball games. Yes.
My kid go to your daycare, so I know you special somebody.
Oh, thank you, Shayna. Okay, here's another one. Let's see. Where did you get the love of music from?
That's an easy one.
Is it easy?
Yeah. So both sides, my mom's side and my dad's side, they're all singers. So my grandmother sing, my aunts, my cousins.
You know what?
Yes.
See, Shayna, you just haven't never heard him sing. I wish you had looked him up before we came to the podcast.
Oh, you did the anniversary party.
Oh, you did come?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, girl, yes. Yes, it shows. Wow, y'all got singers.
Yeah, so it was kind of inevitable for me to sing. So I grew up hearing it. My grandmother, my great grandmother actually, Martha Sugreen, and my great aunt Emma Sugreen, those were my 2 greatest inspirations. They were recording artists at the time, back in the 80s and the 90s. I came up in the 90s, but I had the records from the 80s.
Yes,
I grew up listening
Freddie
to
Jackson and stuff. Yeah.
So I grew up listening to them, singing in church, and my aunt would always ask me to sing because she could hear that I could sing, and I would be outside in the yard in Alabama beating on my grandma's fishing buckets, and I would be singing loud as I could because we lived in the country, so my voice would just carry.
I bet you the neighbors were like,
It was my
who
uncle.
is that baby?
It was my uncle, not the neighbors, because we didn't have any. But my uncle would be deer hunting, and he said, I was scaring away all the deer.
Shoot, with that harmony of your voice, it should have made the deers come closer.
Yeah, so
me.
That's where my love came from. Growing up listening to my family sing and growing up singing in church. That was my love for music.
Well, it was inevitable for you.
Yeah.
I
used to listen to some of the old gospel tapes, then press rewind and press play, press rewind.
And try to sing like
I
them?
would mimic them and try to learn the words. I remember doing that to Unbreak My Heart with Tony Braxton. When it first came out, I had the cassette tape.
Which is one of my favorites. I love that song, don't you?
Yeah, I used to sit and press play and rewind until
perfected.
Yeah.
Well, you must have done that, and I can't help but keep saying this one because this is what draw me so near to you. I mean, you made me wake up when I was almost asleep. That Major song. Did you do that with the Major song? Because at one point that was like the highlight of everyone's wedding. That song,
it was very
and I was
popular.
like, please get in here. But you sound so much like that. I thought
now that one wasn't easy. Like I listened.
You said it was or wasn't?
It was easy, very easy, because it was like it was my song.
Yes, Shayna.
Yeah, some songs you can connect with, like, and it's very hard. Like the lyrics flow, the melody flow,
Yes,
everything just flows, so it's easy to learn. Versus some of these newer songs are harder to learn because the words just be all over the place.
All over the place.
It don't coincide.
I
like the lyrics.
How old were you, like, when you figured out, like, yo, I can sing? Like
5.
Really?
Oh,
5. Yeah.
You knew it at 5.
And that's when they were begging me to sing in church. And I would say yeah, and I would get in church and I would put my head down.
Oh, son, you were another Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I was nervous. And my grandmother would say, just look at the back of the church and don't look at the people. And so that helped me overcome my fear of standing in front of people and singing some way, because I'm still nervous and scared now. Even today.
Oh,
even today.
I cannot tell ever. Every time I see you anywhere, ever.
Oh yeah, ever. I'm a nervous wreck before I get up.
But you know what? Janet Jackson says she used to throw up every time before she goes on stage because of her she was scared all the time.
Yeah, that's why it confuses me. Like people who really can't sing, they have so much confidence and get in front of people and just let it rip.
Like, baby, you
It
need
takes
me so
everything
bad.
for me to get up. I'm like, oh my God, like It's a lot.
It's crazy.
It's fun once it starts, but
Yes.
it's the before.
Sort of like public speaking.
Yeah.
Once it start flowing, you can go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I promise you, I got to tell y'all this story. When I was in college, and it's a little bit of gross with it, but on Thursday night, well, every Friday we had to do current events. We had to speak. You could choose anything you wanted to, and you have to speak on current events. And I would get the papers or look on the news and try to find something. But I tell you, my stomach, I had diarrhea. I know that's gross, guys. I had diarrhea every Thursday. Yes, because I knew Friday I had to go in front of everyone, and I was so scared. And my dad would always tell me, sort of like your grandma did. He said, "Look over their heads. Don't, and it'll look like you're looking at them. Just look over their heads." And he said, "Just talk." And you can tell I was nervous and my voice was breaking. But after maybe the first couple of seconds, once I got some of the speaking out, then I got more and more comfortable, and then I knew what I was talking about, and then I was like, oh, okay, I got this. I got
find your flow.
Yes. So that's how singing is.
Yeah, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, once I get the mic in my hand and I can feel the energy of the room, because I've been to places like people be talking, and then once I start singing, the room just calms down. And everybody's like, okay.
Looking, yes. That's how it was when I first met you.
So once you got the people's attention, you be like, okay, we can ride it,
Yes. Me and my girlfriend, I'm telling you, she was sitting in front of me. I was behind her. We were at church, and it's like, okay, here's somebody else about to do something. Okay, I gotta act like I'm still awake because I'm so tired. But as soon as you picked that mic up and you said a couple, I was like, and I was in. You locked me in.
Yeah.
Well, who is your favorite artist?
Now that's always a
That's
hard
a lot.
one because I have
lot
so
of
many, but my ultimate favorite would have to be John Legend. Like I remember the very first time I heard him on the radio, I was like, oh my God, somebody is singing just to a piano. Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's auto tunes, it's this and it's that, and it was just so authentic.
Yes, his voice is so soothing to me, and you could be in any kind of way, or if you're just having a bad day or whatever, and you put that on, you grab a glass of wine, it is on like popcorn, and you can just relax.
He's so universal to me.
Yes.
Like he has music, something for everybody.
Yes.
You know, however you're feeling in that moment. If you want to turn up, if you want to be mellow, if you want to just slow dance, if you want to groove.
That is so true.
And he gave me that familiar church sound that I'm used to, and then he gave you R&B, and it was just well-rounded, the way he writes, the way he plays. Like we had so much in common as artists that it was like,
I love his voice.
Yeah.
His voice, I mean, it's like no other. I mean, when I hear it, it's like, oh, and you can tell it from anyone. It's not like somebody can sing like him, and then you're like, no, you know his voice.
When you hear it.
Yeah, when you hear his voice.
Vandross. When you hear Luther, you know.
Oh, yeah.
There's no confusing there.
Have you ever written your own songs?
Since I was 10. I wrote my first song when I was 10. So my grandmother and
for real.
Yeah, my grandmother and my aunts, they were all songwriters. So it kind of came natural. Like I would write songs with my grandmother. So when I wrote this one, I was at home beating on a shoebox, and I had the metal
the spoons and stuff,
clothes hangers.
Oh, okay.
I had the iron ones, so I had those as my symbols. So that's when I wrote this one. I took it to my great grandmother. She kind of polished it up, said, "No, don't say that word. Say it like this. Say this." So that was my first song that I wrote, and it's actually on YouTube. It's called "When I See Jesus' Face." That was my very first song that I wrote. So I've written plenty of songs since then. I have I think 2 full albums. I wrote all of those songs. I have 1 EP, and I have an unplugged CD. All of these are online. So I have an unplugged and an EP. I wrote all of those songs. And then just in the last 3 years, I released 3 singles with music videos. So all of those are on YouTube.
Okay,
too.
now you know the next question is, I know you can handle it yourself. You can do it because you're doing it. However, why won't you sign with somebody? Or so they can, I mean, you can make your, to me, you're already higher. You're already up there. But if you were to get, you need to get with Jay-Z and them so you can really,
Yeah, I will. It just have to make sense on both ends. And the opportunity has to present itself. Like here in the States, it has not presented itself to me. Even when I got signed to the label in South Africa, they weren't even a label. They had just been watching me on YouTube, and they were a couple who had previous music industry dealings. So they was like, well, we want to invite you to South Africa and see what we can do to push your career. And so they put their own, means on the line to kind of put me out there. So booking, like I said, radio interviews, doing shows and doing tours, like that was all them. And that was Mind Records. I don't even know if they're still a record label because they came together and created it just so they could represent me. Yeah, so that was just a blessing. We had some disagreements on direction on where they wanted to go.
And that's a big thing in singing industry, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it's like that in modeling as well. Once you start, it's like, okay, they're telling you something, and then once you get in there, they're trying to, okay, we were supposed to go this line.
Yeah.
But now I'm in there, you're trying to do this. It's like, wait, that's not what we talked about.
Yeah.
Yes,
and you'll find that even today, most singers, they aren't signed to labels because of that. Yeah, when they have their own brand and they have their own thing going, and you got somebody coming in. That's why I say it has to make sense.
It has to make
sense. If
sense.
it's an endorsement or enhancement, to make you better, or to make you better, it has to make sense.
It has to make sense for both of you.
Yeah.
Just one side is not enough.
Yeah. So I believe that is coming. I know it's closer coming now than I've ever been. Like I've been in communication with some people. Some things are in the works. So I'm just open to seeing where it goes.
Oh wow! I'm certain it's gonna go somewhere big, and I'm so glad that you're right here on our podcast. So when it does, yes, when it does, we're gonna say we had Hassan right here with us.
Yeah.
So where are you from? I know you said you were from the country, but where are you from?
I'm from Lafayette, Alabama.
Okay, which is close to what city?
Right, it's close to Auburn and Montgomery. So going 85 south from Atlanta.
So how has your singing experience been coming to Atlanta?
It's been great, I must say. Of course, because of social media now, it's expanded versus when we didn't have social media.
Right.
So a lot of places that I go, even if I'm not singing, someone in the room knows who I am.
Yes.
So that's here, wherever I go. Let me tell you the funniest thing ever. I was in Walmart. Cascade.
Oh, Lord.
Right. And there was a lady and her husband in front of me, and she turned around. She was like, "He look like Hassan Green, the boy that be singing on YouTube." And she tell her husband this, and so I started laughing. She go look at me, and she was like, "Why you laughing?" She was like, "Is that you?"
I did Tyler Perry like that.
Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, that's me." I was like, "I'm glad you had good things to say." I'm standing right here, so. Yeah, but being in Atlanta, of course, is more opportunity. Being in Atlanta, you have more platforms for exposure. You never know who's in the room. You never know, who has connections.
Right.
So actually, I did just open up too for K. Michelle Jagged and 69 Boys.
I remember. I saw that. Yes.
So, and that all came from connections, being connected to certain people and networking. So this person saying, "Hey, have you heard Hassan Green? Hey, he would be great to open up for XYZ." And then come to find out the actual promoter is from Alabama. He's from like 30 minutes away from where I'm from.
Oh, that's such a blessing.
Yeah, so that's why I say everything is kind of kicking off and on the up and up. Since this year came in, I've been going nonstop, which was how I was when I first got started. I was somewhere, like you said, every weekend. I was gone. Then I kind of scaled back and calmed down a little bit. And now it's kind of, it's on the up and up.
When you travel, do you, well, I know, because I see you on Facebook, and sometimes you be in Texas, you be in Orlando, you be in, somewhere, it's like every other week. Are you driving to these places? Are you flying, or both, or,
If it's over 2 hours, I have to fly.
Okay.
I can't drive that long. Because I go to sleep.
Okay, me too.
So if it's over 2 hours, they got to put me on the plane. I'll drive 2 hours.
And usually when people book you, so you add the plane ticket in the
yeah. So
okay, good deal. That's smart. Yeah.
So they cover the flight, the hotel, any travel accommodations. I don't have to have a car, just as long as you transport me from where I need to get to.
Yes.
So they cover that, and then they cover my service fee. So.
Do you have fun?
Yes, every trip.
That's such a blessing to just have fun doing your job, just doing it. It's like,
and then when I meet the people, it's like
It's even better.
It's
That's
like
the icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's like we know each other because most of them follow me, so they know a little bit more about me than I do them. But everybody's like down home. Everybody's like good people. So I've never been invited to sing somewhere out of town and had a bad experience.
But
It's
you're
always-
such a good person yourself. Till when someone meet you, you can't help but be yourself and be just authentic and just comfortable because you always been like that. You were like that the first time I met you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good energy. Good energy.
Yes.
That's what we want.
Let's see. Did you ever take classes to perfect what you're doing? Have you ever had singing lessons or anything to help you do better?
Well, he had the whole music school at his house.
I know, right? His family, he was born into perfection. We know that.
Yeah.
But sometimes some people still like to take just let me go and get a little something from somewhere else. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I have. So
Okay.
that was my like she said, first home was my first structure.
Yes.
That was my
Yes.
first, taught me how, and my grandmother actually taught me the notes on the piano because she played a little herself. So I knew, I was familiar with that. And then my family hired a local musician to give me piano lessons
Wow.
at an early age, maybe 9, 10 when I first started. So I did a few lessons there. And then once I got older, graduated high school, I did go to college to study music education with a concentration in voice. So I did get a little training there on the collegiate level. I did not finish my college music education, but I did get some to enhance what I do know, and especially like the music theory, which helps so much when you're like meeting new bands, or like if I'm flying somewhere to perform with a band I've never performed with before. Having that music literacy helps on both ends, my end and their end. Being a vocalist and you know music, so yeah.
I bet you that's kind of nervous. You get nervous when you're on trip or something with other people, you know, another band, and you don't know them, or not a band, but other artists, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's for the band. I've had a few experiences where the musicians.
Wait a minute, he had to laugh about
Right.
what you
So,
did.
well, we ain't gonna say
Yeah, some old memories came up then. I've had a few instances where the musicians weren't up to par, you know, like, or where they didn't learn the music, and I get there and it's just like, oh my God, you don't know the music. Like when we come together, that should be a run through, not you learn.
So
the
you don't
music.
practice first?
Mm-mm.
Oh no, that would mess up
But
something.
see, in the professional world, like even like what's it, Meg Thee Stallion with Beyonce singing on the Savage song, they were not even in the same room. Like she never even met Beyonce.
Really?
So that's usually how it goes. Like everybody gets what they're supposed to have, do what you're supposed to do, and then you have the engineers bring that together.
Yeah.
So that's how it.
Let's see, I never knew that.
Yeah, and I found that out. I think it was on the Grammys or some award show. Like when she was like in the audience and she saw Beyonce, like she was starstruck.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I saw
she was
that.
like, oh my God.
Like, oh yeah, she did say
And
that.
then
I
you like,
I
did
saw
y'all do
her.
a song together?
Yeah, it's like you acting like you never seen her, and nobody knew she had never.
Yeah, and that's typical. So like if I fly to Virginia to do a show, I haven't met the band before, but I've sent the music ahead of time, so they may have rehearsed together, learned the music, and then when I get there, we're gonna have a run through, and everybody gonna run through the show as one. And so that's why I say when we get to that point, everybody should know what's going on. But then there were some instances when I got there and the band didn't know it. So it was.
So what did you do when that happened? Did you say, okay, well, we're not if we were supposed to start at 3, we're not starting at 3
they
because
had to
we're
find new musicians.
at the last moment?
Well, I got there the day before.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I got the day before. So during rehearsal, I was like, this is not gonna work because I can't sing and perform and got the musicians.
Right.
Like somebody gotta know what they do.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
If that's the case, I should have to sit down and play myself.
Right.
So they were able to find somebody else to
At that
to
last
do it.
moment
Yeah,
like that.
They had to.
And see, to me, I'm gonna just speak for myself. That kind of stuff throws off the frequency.
Yeah,
I'm
it throws the energy off.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why
It's
I had to get somebody else.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's not gonna, I can't.
Like, you don't get a car. You don't get a car. Get out. You're fired. Give me somebody else.
It will not be an effective show.
Yes,
No.
because when I'm ready to do something and I'm all set and I got it together, that's my energy is good, everything is good, and it takes one crazy stuff to throw me off, and when it does, it's like, okay, wow.
And that's
I
one of
was
the
ready.
reasons it makes me nervous to get up and perform, because you don't ever know how the crowd is going to respond to you. You think of all the things that could go wrong, that could mess up, and then that plays a part.
Well, I'm here to tell you, Hassan, please don't. I know I hope that it helps. You are such an A1 good singer. When you get out there, please don't let nothing get into your mind or your spirit to make you feel afraid, because your voice is so good. People are going to love it, and they already love it. So when you stand in front of them, just like your grandma said, look to the back of everybody and go for it.
Yeah.
And do you still do that when you perform?
Typically not now, because it's more about being in school taught me having that engagement with the audience and having that connection. So I've learned how to overcome that, versus singing to the whole room, finding that one person who looks like they're enjoying it at that moment and sing to them. Yeah, and it kind of helps to ease the tension, and then you can kind of flow from one end of the stage to the other end, but more so making sure you connect with the audience.
I can't believe there is one place that you go and there is only one person engaged and feeling like they're all into it. The whole room was rocking when you sung at my event, and all the ones that I see that you go to that I'm looking at everybody is like quiet, looking at you. They are all into that's
a good experience. It's a good feeling too, knowing that you're doing something that other people can enjoy.
Yes, that's a gift. That's a gift. And you know what my dad told me before he passed? Hussein, he said, when God gives you a gift, who is that gift for?
You and everybody else.
Yes, but you know what? And I answered my dad. I said, and I thought about it. And the first person popped in my head was Whitney Houston. And then I said, because my dad always asked questions like that, and I said, the gift is for other people, Daddy. When God gives you a gift, it's not for you; it's for other people. He said, "You are so smart." And I said, and then I had to explain why I felt that way. I said, because I had to think about it, and the first person popped in my head was Whitney Houston. She has a voice, and when she sings, everybody benefits from it. Because when I can put some music on Whitney Houston when she was here, oh my gosh, it just makes you feel so good. And everyone that you have good people that you love their music, and you put their songs on, sometimes their songs will bring you up, make you feel good. So that gift is for you and the other person. Of course it's for you because he gave it to you. So your answer
I had to find that out, that it was also for me, like in those moments of despair, in those trying times. And there was a song on my heart, and I started singing, and you can instantly feel the healing or feel the breakthrough. So good. Yeah, and I was like, okay, it's for me too.
You're right. It is for you. It's definitely for you. You were right. I didn't even notice that, but you're definitely right. It's for you because he gave it to you. Yeah. But it's for the other people because you're helping other people when you sing like that. Yeah. And you know what? My son was like, don't you get on there and ask him to sing, because that's not what people do. You just ask questions and leave it at that. So I'm going to have to leave it at that to just ask my questions. But I tell you, I believe that if I just really want America to hear his voice, but 90% of America probably already have. Am I putting you on the spot? I'm not going to do that. But that song Major, when I tell you, when he sings that song, Shayna, I promise you close your eyes and you'll be in another world. Are you shy?
No.
Can you sing now? You will. I would love for you. And we don't even. Dang, I shouldn't have. I don't know. You really don't have to if you don't want to. But I don't want to put you on the spot. But I think your voice is so beautiful, and I would love for everybody to hear it right here and now. Mind. You don't have no music, but his.
I don't know what it's gonna sound like.
No, it's gonna sound good like it always does. Do you want to stand up or you want to sit here? Or
I can sit. It's
you
fine.
Got your audience right here,
what
me and Shayna.
Do
the major one. That's
I don't even know why you asked it.
That one is so beautiful. I'm gonna be quiet.
All right, let's see. I found love in you, and I learned to love me too. Never have I felt that I could be all that you see. It's like our hearts have intertwined to the perfect harmony. 'Cause this is why I love you. Ooh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me. This is why I love you. Ooh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me. That's why I love you.
Yes! Oh my god!
Shout out to Major.
Yes, shout out to Major. Oh my gosh.
You know that one person in chorus who get all the solos?
Right.
Oh, okay.
There he is, right here.
That was me. That was me.
You know, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on our
Thank
show.
you for having me.
Oh my gosh, we
Yeah.
enjoyed that song. I hope you guys enjoyed that song. I can't thank you enough, Shayna. Oh, as always, feel the rumble and
Listen to the roar, and we will see you guys next week.
don't forget to subscribe and like our page.
And his page too.
And his page too, absolutely.
The Hassan Green on everything. The Hassan Green.
Yes.
Thank y'all.